my name is Perry. I'm the Curly Nugget on Instagram. My artwork is on display right now at Métier. Please come and stop by, see some of my work. My art is inspired by women, feathers, flowers, everything feminine and that is attracted to me. I use a lot of watercolor, mixed media, and I've been creating art for the last 8 years. I studied at Howard University and moved back to Seattle in 2015. And the artwork that is on display is a mixture of both some of my older work, but definitely of my newer style with a lot of curvilinear lines, exploring the female form, and having fun with texture. So please enjoy. Okay, so this painting here is called Spotty Yachty Dopalicious, inspired by the Outkast song. This print of the original, I'm not selling the original, but I am selling this print of it. It's the only in existence, so it is for sale. But inspiration behind it is, I was at a point in my career where I was getting really frustrated trying to illustrate the female form in a very realistic way, that I picked up this canvas and just started doodling and turning it and kind of just pouring myself into it in a very organic way. And it took me about 2 years to complete. This part of the image here is a doodle that I did off of a napkin when I was working as a hostess at a French restaurant in DC. And I felt like Spotty Yachty Dopalicious is a very important piece in terms of the entire body of my work, because it is the first image which dove more into the non-representational side of my style, and it is actually the basis of some of the pieces that I have in my current collection. I definitely have pieces which are very intentional in terms of when I have an idea and I want to come to the canvas and execute it. A lot of times I am really just exploring and having fun and creating the moment. And so this painting here, along with its pair piece over here, these two images really are just when I'm having fun and I just create and get in the moment. And so they're created with watercolor, Conte crayon, color pencil, and this is actually fabric trim. So in terms of the kind of truly blending multiple pieces of media together, I collect different pieces of fabric and have begun incorporating them into canvas pieces, and also I'm learning how to sew. So we'll see what I make next, but yeah, these are very beautiful and just very organic pieces from my art. This painting here is called Feather Queen, and I had a couple feather boas from various like Halloween costumes, and I was thinking like, what if I actually took this off and made art out of it? So I combined these feather boas with these like peacock feathers that are hidden in here. And so I made one that was red, and I also made one out of blue over here. What I love about this is that like it actually moves and kind of dances. And I think that a part of my creative process, what's underneath these two paintings are images that I was continuously trying to like rework over and over and over again, and I got very frustrated. And so then I decided, what if I actually didn't use paint, but what if I had fun and used something else? And so I decided to have these two feather queens, both blue and red. So moving on to the last two pieces on this wall, I wanted to kind of frame the feather queen with two portraits. This is actually a self-portrait I created when I was teaching an art class to some elementary portraiture and how to create movement with paint. And so all of our portraits definitely looked different from one another, but I had the most fun teaching that class with those youth. I still teach art classes now, but this self-portrait is actually one of my favorites, and definitely kind of an ode to my later 20s in that chapter of my life. This painting is called Soul Searcher, and it actually sort of formed out of me taking a moment to really explore texture. So looking into this piece, there are so many different layers and colors and implied textures within it. And even sort of this piece that is kind of almost like a crown on her head is zebra. And so I wanted to play along with color and really exploring when color and texture meet, how does that actually make you feel? And I titled it Soul Searcher because her eyes are closed, and I feel like a lot of times a part of the creative process, but also a part of self-reflection and really thinking about who we are, what do those elements look like, what would be the texture of your soul right now. Yeah, so that's Soul Searcher. Last but certainly not least, I have this collage of work on this wall, and the three pieces actually create a body, but I think breaking them up into fragments almost makes them more interesting than if I were to hang them all in order. I also have this blue feather queen here in the center of it, and this is really an example of my exploration and illustration of the female form and the female body, and playing along with flowers and watercolor and acrylic paint, and sort of just creating a beautiful oasis and celebration of womanhood. So this concludes my artist gallery tour of sorts, and I just wanted to take a moment to say thank you to everyone who has purchased, supported, spoken about, who's bought this beer and gifted it to someone. Thank you so much. I'm truly honored to be a part of it and for my Baby Beads image to be on the beer. It's still very much for sale, and my artwork will be up at Métier for the next couple weeks. We'll see how long it's up. It'll probably be up forever. So all of the artwork this year is also for sale. Just reach out to me and follow me on Instagram as The Curly Nugget. Thank you so much. Cheers.